I hadn't lived alone until I was 50. I went from living at home to getting married and having 4 kids, to getting divorced, and then to raising 4 kids. Then, after the kids had grown and moved on, I found myself in a quiet apartment for the very first time in my life, completely on my own. It was exciting and I wouldn't say it was terrifying. It was just different. So let's start with the mental shift that has to happen when you go from living for others to just living for you. For years, maybe decades, you were on duty, taking care of kids, managing a household, working, helping others. It becomes second nature to be available emotionally, physically, and constantly. And then suddenly it's quiet. You're not responsible for dinner for four. You're not checking calendars and carpool schedule. You wake up one day and realize it's just me. And while that can be freeing, it can also be disorientating because we forget how to put ourselves first. But here's the truth: living alone gives you permission to relearn who you are and what you want. For decades, I was wired to put others first. And when you live alone, you have to unlearn that a little bit. You realize that you don't need to be constantly available to everyone else. You're allowed to rest, to say no, to spend an entire day doing absolutely nothing productive and not feel guilty about it. You get to make the rules or break them or toss them out altogether. Want popcorn and ice cream for dinner? Go for it. Want to binge watch an old sitcom all weekend with zero guilt? Done. Want to take a nap at 2 p.m. just because you're tired? You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. There's no should, there's no have to. You create a life that fits you, not the roles you used to play. That might sound silly, but it's revolutionary, especially for women who've spent years living for others. You're no longer so and so's mom or so and so's wife. You are you. And yes, it's scary sometimes, but there's comfort in being a part of a group. But there's also power in realizing you are a whole person, capable, curious, and evolving. For decades, I was the mom of 4 kids. I was the one who managed the schedule, packed the lunches, and kept everything running. And before that, I was a wife, a team, a we. Everything in my life was about who I was to other people. And that's not a bad thing. That was a beautiful season of my life. But when that season ends and you're suddenly alone in a quiet house, it can shake you a little because you look around and wonder, who am I now? Not in relation to someone else, but just me. And that question can be uncomfortable, but it's also where the magic starts. Living alone gives you the space to explore yourself again. You can ask, what do I love to do when no one else is influencing the plan? What music do I like now that I don't have to share the playlist? What kind of life do I want to build now that I'm not building it around someone else's needs? Maybe you change the color of your bedroom just because it makes you happy. Maybe you go back to painting or dancing or traveling or maybe something totally new. It's like you get to meet yourself again for the first time in years. Not the caretaker version, not the support system, not the one behind the scenes. Just you. And it turns out she's pretty interesting. She's evolving, she's worthy of attention, time, and joy. Living alone gives you the room to become your own person again, and you don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You get to just live it. Let's talk about something that holds so many of us back, especially when we start living alone. The feeling that everyone's watching, that people are noticing you in a restaurant by yourself, that they're judging you for ordering a table for one, that they see you shopping alone and wondering where's her family and why is she alone? I used to think that too. I would overthink everything. Should I sit at the bar instead of a table so I don't look lonely? Will people notice that I only bought one avocado and a single chicken breast at the store? And then one day I had this moment of clarity. No one cares. Truly. People are not thinking about us nearly as much as you think they are. Most people are so caught up in their own lives, checking their phones, worrying about their own grocery lists, their own insecurities. They barely notice what you're doing. And if they do notice, it's a fleeting thought, a passing glance, a blip of their day. The truth is, you're the only one watching you. You're projecting your own discomforts onto other people. But once you start to release that, that's where this freedom begins. I remember the first time I went to dinner alone and didn't feel awkward. I sat and I people watched. And you know what? It was lovely. No one looked at me funny. No one whispered or stared. And even if they had, it wouldn't have mattered because I was content in my own company. That's one of the unexpected gifts of living alone. You stop living through the lens of what others might think and start living in alignment with what you actually want. You realize you don't need permission to enjoy your life. You don't need a plus one to feel whole. You get to be your own companion, and that's a powerful shift. Living alone also means things come up, the broken drawer, the mysterious blinking light. You could call someone, but you could also figure it out yourself. It becomes a game, a quest. Watch a YouTube tutorial. Wander the hardware store like you know what you're doing. When you do the thing you thought you couldn't, the sense of pride is unmatched. You're still learning, still growing, and proving to yourself that you're resourceful and resilient. Living alone isn't about loneliness, it's about space, freedom, discovery, and it's about building a life on your terms, one decision at a time. Some days may feel heavy, yes, but others are full of peace, joy, even adventure. So if you're living alone or thinking about it, don't fear it, embrace it. Use it as an opportunity to reconnect with yourself, your dreams, and what truly makes you happy. If this resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and tell me in the comments what's one thing you've come to love or fear about living alone. Thank you for watching.